In this video I'm going to show you how to replace the rear shocks on a 98 Chevy Tahoe. Obviously I have the vehicle up in the air, and what I'm going to basically do is we're going to remove the bolt, rather the bottom, right here. And if you look up top, on the top of the shock, you'll see two bolts right up here that you need to remove too. It's two 13mm bolts on the top of the shock right there. We need to remove those also. And I sprayed everything up with some penetrating oil to make it come out easier. So what I normally do is on the top bolts, I'm extremely careful with those, because if they snap, you're going to have a problem. So what I do is on the top ones, I take those out by hand. You will have to just support the differential just a little bit, just to take the weight off of the shock. When you take the lower bolt out, it may stick just a little bit. So now that I have the weight off of the shock itself, we're going to take the bottom bolt out with the air gun, and then we'll take the top ones out by hand. Obviously, if you don't have air power, you can do it with a ratchet also. These are 13/16 bolts through here. Now, if you didn't jack up the differential a little bit, the problem you run into is you wouldn't be able to get this bolt out of here. So by jacking it up just that little bit, you take the weight off of the shock, and you're able to just get the bolt out like that. Now we're going to take out the two bolts up top, and those two up top, remember I told you we sprayed them already with some penetrating oil just to loosen everything up. And those we're going to take out by hand, because we don't want them to snap off up there. Sometimes by taking a minute and just spraying everything up, it saves you a big headache later on. So this truck has got probably 130,000, 140,000 miles on it, and just by taking a few extra minutes and spraying it, these bolts are able to come right out, so we can replace them without having to worry about putting nut and bolt through the top up there. So there's two of them. Be careful, because a lot of rust comes off under these vehicles. Probably a good idea to wear safety goggles if you're laying underneath the truck doing it on the ground. Let me take the shock out, and we get rid of it. I always do to make things go a little bit easier, just take a second and put a little dab of Never-Seez or any kind of lubricant on the threads of the bolts, so that they go back in without a problem. The way you put the bolts back in is you just screw them in by hand. You don't hit it with a ratchet until you're ready to tighten them up all the way. Alright, so now we get our I might add that you'll see the top of the shock itself. This is angled. It's tilted a little bit, and if you notice that the shock has this type of an angle on it, so you want to put the shock in like this, because that way this, when it goes up at an angle like that, will be nice and flush or square up top there. All right, so let's screw it in there by hand first, just till you catch it by hand. And then once you catch it by hand, you're going to get the other bolt in also. by hand. Once you have them both caught, then you can tighten them up as tight as you can make them. And then tighten up the second one. They're tight. We're going to take off this strap that's on here now that held it up. You can just cut it off and throw it away because you don't need it. You're going to do, if you got everything tied up on the top, is you're going to get your bolt in the bottom here and put it back through the same direction that you took it out. Put a nut and bolt on. And if you have your air gun, you use air. If you don't have an air gun, you tighten it up by hand. That's it. You're all done. Now we're going to do the one on the other side, and then we're going to lower it down, and we're all set. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.